Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Final Fantasy Rebirth is finally upon us, so happy Rebirth Day to you. You'll finally hear me stop mentioning it in the context that it's eventually going to come out. It's something I'm looking forward to. Frankly, when you're watching this video, chances are I'm going to be playing through this behemoth of a game. I'm looking so forward to this. For transparency's sake, I'm recording this a couple of days beforehand because, well, yeah, of course, I'm going to be occupied for the next fair few days, okay? Because I've been looking forward to this day for about 4 years since the conclusion of my playthrough of Remake and thoroughly enjoying that. If I'm to go ahead and give an objective review of Remake, playing through it again, probably give it an 8 out of 10, but subjectively, it's right up there with some of my favorite gaming that I have ever done. But that, of course, is a story for another time. I just want to talk about the conversation around this game itself and the fact that it's getting praise. Frankly, you know, it makes that wait a little bit longer for me. Recording dawn, not current dawn that you're seeing on the screen on Thursday when this video drops. I'm just glad that my patience and so many other people's patience have been rewarded. Actual fans of the series, people who know this story inside out, want to see those characters go on a similar but different story instead of just going, oh, it's just walking and talking and looking around at things. Oh, and it's gone woke because Tifa's boobies aren't out and they took away the underwear scene, you absolute morons. But hey man, that's one side of the coin. On the other side here, you've got pre-release accolades of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is now the 5th highest rated game in the series. Hopefully they just have a table. We're going to be risking some stuff here because I don't necessarily want to see. So what are the highest ones? Final Fantasy IX. Ooh, okay. We'll go through the top 10 that they have there. I'll tell you I haven't played Tactics Advance. I have a copy of War of the Lions Remake Intergrade at 8. Yeah, no, I'd probably put that there. Chronicles, I didn't play that one. I think that one's on the GameCube, right? Final Fantasy VIII, ooh, no. That's a game that I've played multiple times. I've probably played through that game, oh my god, from toes to titties, at least a half dozen times. And the plot doesn't make any sense. Most of the characters are superfluous. Like, tell me the necessity of Zell or Selphie, okay, and then Quistis, even after the first couple of missions are done. It's basically about Squall and Renoa with everybody else tacked on. I like Irvine, but outside of the conclusion of Disc 1, it doesn't really play into anything. So yeah, I try to like Final Fantasy VIII. I just can't. And the Rebirth coming in at 5th, that's lofty praise. And then I see number 3 is Final Fantasy XII. I hate that game. That thing sucks. Like, the Final Fantasy series, if you don't know, has been heavily inspired by Star Wars, but Final Fantasy XII is just Star Wars. Not saying that in a denigrative tone. No. It could be good. It's just don't like any of the characters. The main character, I don't even remember his name, and I played through it a couple of times. Frankly, on my first playthrough, because most of the Final Fantasy games that are on there, you know, if I had the console for it, I got on release date. I'm a big fan of the series, okay? If you couldn't tell, I can't tell you any of the characters' names. I can remember the convoluted way that you had to go in order to get to the ultimate spear in the game where you couldn't unlock certain chests that gave you absolutely zero indication only for it to appear in the very, very, very late game. But when I was playing through my initial PS2 playthrough all the way back when it first released, I forget, what was that, 2006 or something like that? 2005, 2006, that sounds about right. I got all the way up until the final area and then I just stopped playing it. Like, I didn't want to go on. The Bahamut Warship, I couldn't care less about that game. I came back and about 5 years ago, actually probably would be way longer than that. I went back and I played through the game and it's like, it's whatever. I wouldn't put it at 3. I wouldn't even have it in the top 10, but that's just me. Final Fantasy VI, 92. Yeah, I would put it a little bit higher. I didn't play that game when it first came out. Like, it came out on the Super Nintendo. Didn't have it at all. I didn't play that until I was about 10 years ago. Yeah, because I remember the job I was at the time when I played an emulator of it. Through the Super Nintendo version, the PlayStation version, which I have copies of the PS1. Was it Anthology or Chronicles? Whatever, the one that has, I think it's stapled on with 4 as well. But yeah, I have all of those. And yeah, 6, that's not nostalgia goggles, okay? I played that well after I played a bunch of the other games that are on that list. And yeah, it deserves that high placement. And controversially, I have a similar opinion to Final Fantasy IX as I do with 8, except I think the characters are a little bit better. It's just the plot falls apart. It becomes way too convoluted. The moment that you go, without spoiling anything, you go off-world. Not a big fan of it. I've tried. That's one that I've actually given a shot multiple times. Played through. Really enjoyed up to a certain point, and then if it wasn't for the music, you know, you just wouldn't continue on. But Rebirth being 5, and then on that list, it's like, yeah, no, that's good. The fact that it's coming in at 92 from Famitsu. Is from Famitsu? Oh no, right, it would have been Metacritic. Metacritic's aggregation, yeah. Let's just say it's in good company. But while I can geek out about Final Fantasy until I'm blue in the face, it's all about the characters, it's all about the plot, it's all about the gameplay, the mechanics on my end. I like the games for what they are, what they provide, and you can theory craft over the top of it if you want a little bit more. Personally, I would love to see that fan-made remake of Final Fantasy IX come to fruition, but the guy who was doing it, who was doing an excellent job, already said, yeah, no, I'm working on it, but I'll never be able to release it because I'll be hit with a cease and desist just like that. It's very sad to see so much effort put behind that, but oh well, c'est la vie, I suppose. But while some of the games on that list ended up getting spin-offs, and some of them are in fact spin-offs themselves to tell a more broad story, sometimes to diminishing results. You don't have to traipse into the fan fiction territory, although some of them had fan fiction level stories. I'm looking at that entire collection of Final Fantasy 13, so glad that that's not even sniffing that list, man. That's a horrific series. The fact that it came out on my 20th birthday makes me sick to my stomach, but this is more than making up for. It's just about a week out or something like that. But anyways, if you didn't have contempt for games journalists, or journalists in general, let me offer you an opportunity to ratchet that up for yourself so that you appropriately hate journalists as much as they deserve. With everybody hyped, okay, and most people probably playing it if you're anticipating it in any form or fashion right now and you have the means to play it, you aren't concerning yourself with what the gamer is trying to push. And holy Christ, man, like, these are the type of people that would go back in hindsight, okay, and watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy and be so mad that Sam and Frodo aren't playing hide the salted pork on the way to the Mount Doom. Idiots, all of them. Aerith and Tifa have their own novelization coming. And it needs to be super gay. No, it doesn't, man. Okay, because what? The central story, one of the central thrusts of the story, pun not intended, of FF7 is the love triangle between Aerith, Tifa, and Cloud, and their characterization that they got from remake as opposed to the original. I mean, it really expanded their story, but in no form or fashion did it come across as anything more than just a healthy female friendship, not anything more, you sickos. I've waxed lyrical before about how Aerith and Tifa are a lesbian power couple. Oh my god, get these people away from gaming. Gatekeep these freaks out of here. We need in Final Fantasy VII Remake too, alongside how Cloud should be used as an emotional support twink. I'm sorry, what? I hate this. Instead of a heteronormative third member of the game's archaic love triangle. Oh, it's archaic when you take a look back at games with such historical significance as Final Fantasy VII. The chemistry between the two girls in the remake is magnetic. All the characters get along extremely well. The characterization is next level. The dialogue is... I love remake. It's fantastic. Not like this freak. Whether they're teasing their fellow party members fighting against evil or confiding in one another when the going gets tough, it's genuinely touching and could easily blossom into a romance if the opportunity ever arose. Why can't people just have healthy friendships? That's what's wrong with these freaks, man. They don't actually talk with real people that are out there. They don't know that people of the same sex can have friendships. Wow. No. They just need to be scissoring at all times. Freaks. I'm not convinced Square Enix would dare to go in such a direction. Oh yeah, because you've seen their Japanese side of things now that they've closed up Western shops, and the fact that they're just going, oh yeah, all of this stuff that was killing off our Western endeavors. Yeah, we're not bringing that back to the East. No. You freaks over in the West, you can have that. Do a mixture of series canon and wanting to upset the gamers. Look at the contempt. You write for an outlet called The Gamer, and want to look down your nose at gamers who appreciate a good story, not your weird fetish but a girl can dream. And the recent announcement of a light novel with original story by Kazushika Nojima, a man who has helmed several stories in the franchise for decades, has my mind doing backflips regarding the possibilities. Relationship between Aerith and Tifa, no, they're friends, you freak. I'm not reading any more of this stuff. But these are the type of people that are out there. As gaming, as we've seen with a couple of notable releases so far in 2024, and even going back a little while, there's been a massive course correction in gaming. AAA is just kind of on a precocious perch where it's about to crash and fall. But that's AAA in the West. The independent sphere, AAA in the East, gaming, I'm more excited now about gaming than I have been in just about a decade. And so now at the conclusion of this video, I hope I don't end up getting my heart broken by being let down. By Rebirth. I know that there's going to be some story beats that are going to hit that are going to be a little tough to get through. But for the love of God, I pick up a game every half decade. I grew up on the stuff. Can we just go ahead and get something good? Because it really seems like that's going to be the case. I sure hope that that promise is delivered on. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.